What if I told you that there's a little-known retirement plan that could let you save more than a regular 401k, lower your taxes, and maybe even help you retire earlier, but hardly anyone takes full advantage of it? That plan is called the For 57. And today, you'll discover exactly how a 457 plan works, step by step, and why it might just be your retirement game changer. But stay with me to the end, because there's one quirky rule about 457 plans that surprises everyone when they find out. Number 1. What is a 457 plan? Anyway, let's keep this simple. A 457 plan is a type of retirement savings plan offered by certain employers, usually state and local governments, and some nonprofits. Think teachers, firefighters, police officers, city employees. It works a lot like a 401k. You put in part of your paycheck. It grows over time, and you pay taxes later when you take the money out in retirement. For example, let's say you work for a school district. You might decide to contribute $200 per paycheck to your 457 plan. That money comes out before taxes, so you lower your taxable income today, while saving for tomorrow. Here's a key point. Only people who work for employers who offer 457 plans can use them. So if you're self-employed or work for a regular private company, you won't have access to a 457. Number 2. Why choose a 457 over a 401k? Now you might wonder, if it's so similar to a 401k, what's the big deal? Why even bother learning about it? Here's the secret. If you're one of the lucky folks who has both a 401k and a 457 available through your employer, you can actually contribute the full limit to both. For example, in 2025, the annual contribution limit is $23,000 for each plan. That means you could put $23,000 into your 401k and another $23,000 into your 457. That's $46,000 saved in 1 year. And here's another bonus. Unlike a 401k, 457 plans don't have the same penalty for early withdrawals. More on that in a moment. Number 3. How much can you contribute? For most people, you can contribute up to the annual limit set by the IRS. In 2025, that's $23,000 if you're under 50. If you're 50 or older, you get an extra catch-up contribution of $7,500, making your total limit $30,500. But here's something unusual. If you're within 3 years of your plan's normal retirement age, you might qualify for a special double catch-up. This could let you contribute up to $46,000 in 1 year to your 457. Imagine how much faster you could boost your retirement savings if you maxed out that limit just for 3 years before retiring. Number 4. How does the money grow? Just like a 401k, the money in your 457 plan is invested in funds you choose from a menu, usually stocks, bonds, or mixed funds. For example, a younger worker might put 80% in a stock index fund and 20% in bonds. That way, the money has more potential to grow over decades. If you prefer less risk, you might go 50-50 or even lean more toward bonds and stable value funds. And yes, the money grows tax-deferred, which means you don't pay taxes on your gains each year. You pay taxes when you withdraw in retirement, ideally when you're in a lower tax bracket. Number 5. What makes 457 plans unique? Here's the part that surprises most people and why you should stick around. Unlike a 401k or a 403b, 457 plans don't have the 10% early withdrawal penalty if you take out money before age 59 and a half. That's right. With a 401k, if you withdraw early, you pay taxes plus a penalty. With a 457, you just pay taxes. On the money, no penalty. Let's say you retire from your city job at 55. You could start pulling money from your 457 immediately without penalty. That flexibility is a big deal if you plan to retire early or need access to your funds sooner. Number 6. How do withdrawals work? So, when you're ready to take the money, you just request a distribution from your plan administrator. You pay regular income tax on what you withdraw, but again, no early penalty. You can take the money as a lump sum, spread it out over a few years, or even set up regular monthly payments. One thing to watch for. Once you hit age 73, the IRS requires you to start taking minimum distributions from your 457, just like other retirement accounts. Number 7. Are there Roth options? Some employers now offer a Roth 457. This lets you put in after-tax dollars now, so your withdrawals later are tax-free. For example, if you think you'll be in a higher tax bracket in retirement, Roth might make sense. You pay the taxes now while you're in a lower bracket, and then enjoy tax-free income later. It's worth asking your HR department if your plan has a Roth 457 option. Number 8. What about employer contributions? Here's one catch. Unlike 401k plans where employers often match your contributions, most 457 plans don't come with a match. That's because they're usually offered by government and nonprofit employers who don't include matching funds. So don't be surprised if you don't see an employer match in your 457 plan. It's still worth contributing for the tax benefits and flexibility. Number 9. Can you roll over your 457? If you leave your job, you usually have a few options. You can keep the money in the plan, roll it over into another employer's 457 if they allow it, or roll it into an IRA. Just be careful. If you roll it into an IRA and then withdraw before 59 and a half, you'll lose the no penalty benefit of the 457. So for early retirees, leaving the money in the 457 might be smarter. Number 10. Common mistakes to avoid. Let's finish with a few big mistakes people make. 1. Not contributing enough. Even if you can't max out, try to save at least what you can comfortably afford. Over time, it adds up. 2. Forgetting about the unique withdrawal rules. If you move your 457 to an IRA too soon, you might lock yourself out of penalty-free access. And 3. Being too conservative with investments. If you're young, you have time to ride out the market ups and downs. For example, I once met a 30-year-old firefighter who had all his 457 money in a cash fund earning just 2%. After learning more, he shifted to a balanced stock and bond mix and started seeing real growth. Number 11. How to decide how much to save. One of the biggest questions beginners have is, how much should you actually put into your 457 plan? A good rule of thumb is to aim for at least 10 to 15% of your gross income. For example, if you earn $50,000 a year, try to save around $5,000 to $7,500 into your 457 if possible. If that sounds like too much right now, start smaller. Even $50 per paycheck is better than nothing. Then increase your contributions each time you get a raise or bonus. Saving more earlier lets you take advantage of compounding, where your money grows on itself over time. Number 12. Can you borrow from your 457? Some 457 plans allow you to take a loan from your balance, just like some 401k plans. But be cautious. If you don't pay it back on time, it counts as a taxable withdrawal and you lose the money's growth potential. Borrowing should be a last resort, not part of your long-term strategy. For example, one city worker borrowed $10,000 from his 457 to cover a home repair, but he struggled to pay it back and missed out on thousands in investment growth. Number 13. What happens if you change jobs? If you switch to another employer that also offers a 457, you can usually roll your balance into the new plan. If your new job doesn't offer a 457, you can leave your money where it is or roll it into an IRA. But remember, moving it into an IRA eliminates the penalty-free early access benefit unique to 457 plans. So think twice before making a rollover decision. Number 14. Are 457 plans safe? Another question people often ask is my money safe in a 457 plan? By law, government 457 plans are held in a trust separate from the employer's assets, which makes them relatively safe. However, if you have a non-governmental 457, like one from a private nonprofit, your money may technically remain part of the employer's assets and could be at risk if the employer goes bankrupt. It's a good idea to ask your HR department if your plan is governmental or non-governmental. Number 15. What if you retire and keep working somewhere else? Here's a little-known tip. You can retire from your government job and start withdrawing from your 457 while working another job at the same time. For example, a retired police officer might leave at 55, start taking distributions from his 457, and work part-time in private security for extra income. That flexibility can help you ease into retirement while still earning and enjoying life. Number 16. What about required minimum distributions? Like most retirement accounts, the IRS requires you to start taking minimum withdrawals from your 457 once you turn 73. If you forget, you could face a hefty tax penalty, up to 50% of what you should have taken out. It's smart to set reminders or work with a financial advisor to make sure you meet this rule. Number 17. Can you have a 457 and an IRA? Yes, you can contribute to both a 457 plan and a traditional or Roth IRA if you're eligible. For example, you could max out your 457 at $23,000 and still put up to $7,000 into your IRA in the same year. That's another way to supercharge your retirement savings and take advantage of both tax-deferred and tax-free growth options. We've covered a lot today about how 457 plans work for retirement, from what they are, how they differ from 401k plans, and all the clever ways to use them to your advantage. If you had access to a 457, would you use it to retire early or just as a backup plan? Let me know in the comments.